Good afternoon, good people, and welcome to your show Airwaves. This is your host, Ibrahim Adil.
And Mohammed.
And today we have two amazing guests. We are talking about intellectual property, and we are really excited about it. So, first of all, could you introduce yourselves? So, here is what we know. We know that you are Leigh Lowry's. So, Ms. Lowry's and Rasha Abdelmagid. So, can we start with you?
Yes. My name is Leigh Lowry, and I am a trademark attorney with the Office of Policy and International Affairs at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And I am here in Iraq to participate in a business forum that the U.S. Embassy hosted today in Baghdad. And we were here to discuss the value of intellectual property and its impact on economic development, especially in Iraq.
So interesting. And what about you, Ms. Rasha?
I'm Rasha Abdelmagid. I'm the IP specialist for Middle East and North Africa. I'm working under the office or the regional office, which is based in the US Embassy in Abu Dhabi. This regional office called the IP Attaché, and it is under the USPTO. Actually, we work on collaboration with different governments in the Middle East and North Africa in order to promote and enhance and develop the IPR system in each country.
All right, so welcome both of you to Iraq. Leigh, Rasha, thank you for coming here. I'm going to start by asking a very obvious question, but not too many people. Can you please help us understand what intellectual property is?
Of course, that is a great question, and most people don't know what intellectual property is. And we define it as creations of the mind. And this can take a form of patents, trademarks, copyrights, or trade secrets.
Oh, no, awesome. Thank you. So, Ms. Rasha, you are an intellectual property specialist, correct?
Yes.
Can you please help us understand what that means?
Actually, as an IP intellectual property specialist, it is we under the office of the IP Attaché. As I mentioned before, that I'm working under the regional IP Attaché office. We cover 17 or 18 countries of the MENA region, and actually our main goal is to provide support and help and for different governments of those countries to promote the IPRs.
Wow.
Of course, system in each country. In addition to that, we already have our US stakeholders and US companies that already have a lot of investment in those countries. We provide them with tips, advices regarding to all about IP matters that they may face in these countries.
Wow, that's really great. Thank you.
So, this field is both challenging and exciting, to be honest. I mean, yes, you can learn lots of things from it. To be honest, before the interview, we watched some YouTube videos about intellectual property, some lectures and all. So why did you decide to pursue a career in this field?
I always found trademarks to be quite interesting. And when I actually got a job at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office more than 20 years ago as a trademark examiner, so an entry-level position, I just loved the subject of trademarks itself and how it applies to what you do every day, and you're always interacting with trademarks without even realizing it.
Okay.
But now in my role in the International Affairs Office, I am able to travel in the world, especially through the Middle East. And in this way, what is the best part about the job and most rewarding is doing things like this, meeting with local governments, meeting with individuals in each country, and connecting and bringing IP to information to other people outside of the United States. That's what's most rewarding.
Great. So what about you, Ms. Rasha? So you are an IP specialist. Has it always been your thing?
This is a very tricky question, and I have to tell you the story about it. Actually, I graduated 2001, and I studied civil engineering. And actually, engineers, when they graduated from Faculty of Engineering, they would like to be a site engineer. I want to go through the construction process. How can I study 5 years of my life without practicing what I studied?
True.
But actually, when I got the chance to work as a patent examiner in the Egyptian Patent Office, and at that time, the person who convinced me, supported me, helped me to digest IPR is my mother, because my mother was the head of the Egyptian Patent Office at that time. Yes, so she actually made me love patents, love IPR afterwards. So really, she's the mover, or make me move forward. She's the reason for that.
Wow.
So yeah, I adore intellectual property.
All right. I'm certain she's proud of you, as she should be. And I'm very happy you chose this path. I'm sure it's really rewarding. But my next question would be, why is it really important to protect intellectual property?
It's important to protect your intellectual property in order to not only bolster your business and show that you are serious as an entrepreneur, but also when you protect your intellectual property, it helps when you want to defend your rights against potential infringements. If you haven't already protected it, it makes it incredibly challenging and sometimes impossible to defend yourself and to correct the wrong that has been done. Okay. So it's very important to protect.
All right. So is there international patents, or is it just local?
There is nothing called till today or till this moment what is called international patent, because actually most inventors, because let me tell you that patents already protect inventions, and these inventions could be a new process in any field, technological field, could be a method, could be a machine that I invent. So there is nothing called international patent, but the inventor has to go to each country, or the country that he could see that he can market his invention in this country, and go to this country to be granted, so his invention to be granted in this country.
All right. So what if two people in two different countries come up with a very similar invention? What would happen then?
Okay. This is a very difficult question, but okay, I will answer you. Of course, let me tell you that each country has its own regulations, national laws that already organize the protection of patents or the protection of inventions in each country. So actually, there is what we call examiners in each office. There is patent offices in each country, and inside these patent offices there are patent examiners. Patent examiners are differentiated into different examiners in different specific fields. It could be examiners in pharmaceutical. He can examine pharmaceutical inventions, others in industrial inventions, and so on. So actually, one of his process to do is to search about the novelty of this invention, if it is already found before in any country in the whole world or not. So this is his role, actually, in order, because we have what is called patentability conditions. I cannot grant you a patent without checking if this patent is new, having inventive step, innovative, and could be industrial or applicable industry. So can I apply it in industry? Okay, so if those three conditions found in an invention, I will grant him a patent.
This is really enlightening. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So a related question would be, if we have like a very popular product, could be maybe a chocolate bar, could be cookies, and then a local company decides to copy almost the same logo, almost the same name, and almost the same color, but mind you, they are not the same. Would that be, let's say, considered illegal
or infringement of the intellectual property?
Well, that is a good question, and it depends on many factors. If trade in most countries, not the United States. We operate under common law, but in most countries, they operate under civil law. And under civil law, you have to have your trademark registered in order to be protected. So registration is the first step. And in a lot of countries in the world, you could register all of those things. The wording, the logo with a design, and packaging design, and a color scheme design. Those can all be trademarks independently registered of each other. So first step would be, in order to enforce your rights, you must have a registration in most countries in the world. And the second step would be to call a local attorney to help you sort it out and get the best advice based on the laws of the nation that you are in. But in most situations, and in the United States, that is something to consider to take on. Even if it's not identical, the standard is a likelihood of confusion. So not that it is absolutely confusing, but that there is a likelihood of confusion.
This briefly maybe explains how new people to IP can get started, correct? Or are there any other notes that you can add to that? I mean, if you are new to IP, how can you get started?
If you're new to IP and you're an entrepreneur or somebody thinking about doing things, you can look on various websites. A lot of intellectual property offices and the World Intellectual Property Office have a lot of information and resources dedicated to small and medium enterprises. We call those SMEs. The USPTO has at uspto.gov has a lot of information for startups and entrepreneurs, including a variety of information. And those are always great places to start. And YouTube videos. I think someone mentioned before that they have been watching YouTube videos to prep. There are a ton of official sources of YouTube videos to check out as well.
Perfect.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the fun part. Series.
What TV shows?
Yeah.
I mean, many of them are patented, correct? I mean, the ideas or the names of the shows, are they patented?
Trademark.
All right. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes. So as Muhammad said, TV shows, series. So we have, before the interview, we argued over something.
Yeah.
We want to talk, personally, I wanted to talk about Better Call Saul, but somebody said, no, let's talk about Suits.
Yeah.
So now we are talking about both.
Okay.
So you as an advisor and an attorney, which do you prefer?
I would say Suits.
Suits.
Yes. And only because I've watched the entire series, and I have not watched the entire series of Better Call Saul. So I don't have a valid, informed opinion to provide. So, but Suits is an excellent show. It's sometimes a little unrealistic in a way, as all TV shows edge on that.
Yeah.
But it's a great show.
All right.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, Muhammad?
What about you? Do you have any favorite show in particular, or?
Actually, recently, I watched Barbie.
Barbie?
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I'm watching Arab series, but
Cool.
for the American series, Barbie now is the famous
Yes, it is, of
movie
course.
nowadays.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, really. And
Well, interesting is a word to phrase.
yes, yes, there is a message. There is a message behind this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
So what about women accessing and utilizing IP?
Well, that's a great question. Over the past few years, we've seen an increase of women working in IP and protecting their intellectual property, an increase by 20%. And because of this, at the USPTO, our director and our Secretary of Commerce in the United States have partnered together to develop a program called Women Empowerment. And it is about supporting women and helping them access the tools and information that they need in order to be successful in intellectual property.
Maybe you can share a message with our audience, our listeners. Is there any message in particular that you would like to share? Or listeners, most of them are of a younger age. So is there a particular message that you would like to share with them? Starting with you, of course.
Well, get involved with intellectual property and check it out, see what you learn, and start looking around, because trademarks in particular are all around you all day, every day. You're interacting with them constantly, even if you don't realize that. Shapes of bottles, colors, logos. It's not just Nike. There's a whole world out there for you. And it's definitely a fascinating world once you dive in.
Cool.
Thank you.
What about you, Rasha?
Actually, I want to tell them or recommend to protect their creations. Protection of IPR is very important for their business. As if they are startups, they are SMEs, or they are starting new business, they have to know that they will gain a lot of benefits behind protecting their innovations, their creations by IPR, really. And actually, another tip that I want to tell them, don't publish your creation before protecting it. And this is very important. A lot of inventors and a lot of creators can talk to their friends or can talk in public, and go afterwards to protect their ideas, and they recognize that there are others already protecting it. So please don't publish unless you protect your ideas.
Amazing. So with these tips, we are going to end this interview. Thank you so much for being here today. It was amazing.
It was.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having us.
Leigh. Thank you, Ms. Rasha.
Thank you, Muhammad Ibrahim. Thank you.
Yes, thanks so much.